Hello everyone, this is the Realistic Runner, Alex. I'm here about ready to go on a short little 1.5 mile run. But before I do, I'd like to ask y'all to like this video and comment. That's mainly what I'd like to hear from people, is a comment on how I can make these videos better. If they're too long, if they're too short, if video isn't even the right thing, maybe a podcast would be better. Let me know, and maybe even suggest some topics you'd like to hear me talk about, because I can only think of so many things. But today, what I'm starting is a new little segment. My garbage day is on Wednesdays, and I was inspired by this Instagrammer, Sly Poker, Slipoker. He runs around the city of Portland, exploring his city one street at a time, picking up trash. So that's what I'm going to do. I think that's a great idea. So go follow him on Instagram, Sly Poker. But I'm just going to canvass my own neighborhood and pick up trash. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. It's a great idea that he came up with, to go run around and pick up trash, because as runners, we're out in the neighborhood. A lot of us, most neighborhoods have runners in them, walkers. My neighborhood has a lot of walkers, but the fact is, we're out here, we're on the street. Why don't we pick up some trash while we're out here? I actually need to pay attention, keep my eyes open. I'm not just out running anymore. And one thing, that it just happened to be garbage day for me today, but I'm thinking, maybe I'll do this once a week, because if you're out running around on your own garbage day, everyone's gonna have their garbage cans out at the street. So if you bring bags, or you have a big piece of cardboard you find, you can just drop it in somebody's recycle bin or their garbage can. I'm not sure how legal that is, to be honest. I know I have, on occasion, had a bag of dog poop that I put in people's garbage can, but not sure if I should be suggesting people do this. But at the very least, go out and pick up trash and bring it home, put it in your own garbage can. But so far, I haven't seen much. Maybe I should slow down. There's a good excuse to slow down. So yeah, Wednesdays, I'm doing a trash run. Not sure exactly what I'm gonna call it yet, but a little run to the trash. That's not a good one. But for the main topic today, I want to talk about is stress relief, and how running and exercise in general can play a huge role in that. And I know I found in the past year I've transitioned from one job to another, and it can be stressful. Learning something new, feeling pretty incompetent at something when you are learning it, but trying to put on a good act that you know what you're talking about, all that stuff. And I found a lot of the time I wasn't able to run, aka I didn't make time for it. And since I've been back running, I've noticed my mood's a lot better. And I think it goes without saying that exercise is a very important part of daily life, or at least it should be. And I think it's good to keep that at the forefront of our minds. Some people it's easier than others, particularly if you're not in the habit of exercising. It's hard. I know it's always hard for me to get back into it, but it's a good thing to do. And like most things, the hardest part is actually starting it. Once you get out and start running, finally get in the car to go to the gym, it's not so bad once you're in it. Kind of the same thing with work. Hardest part about work is getting up and going to work. And I know that sometimes I would work doubles. My last job, which would be 16 hours. I remember when I started and people said they work doubles. I was like, I can't possibly be 16 hours. And as it turns out, a double means twice as many hours as you normally work. And working 16 hours a day, whew, it's challenging. And once you're at work, it's not so bad. It's getting to work. In my job, I was fortunate enough to be able to work 2 doubles and then 1 8-hour day. So it'd be 40 hours total, but I'd be able to compact 2 of my days to really long days, but then have 2 extra days off, a 4-day weekend every weekend. And that was a really cool benefit of that. And if you're wondering, that job is corrections deputy for Multnomah County. We're hiring right now, so I'll put a link in the description if you're interested. But one of the cool benefits of that job is being able to do that double, single, and have 4-day weekends every weekend if you want to. You don't have to, it's an optional thing, but if you want to, you can pretty much make your schedule however you want it to be. But like I was saying, the hardest part of those doubles is getting to work. And same thing with running, any exercise, CrossFit, just weightlifting. Hardest part is getting there. But now I'm out running. It's not so bad. Sometimes you have to trick yourself into doing it just as soon as you get home. Start changing. Start getting your equipment ready for whatever exercise routine you do, and just get after it. And then, like right now, it's a beautiful February day. Hey, there's a piece of trash. This is a very clean neighborhood, as it turns out. And I'm thinking I probably should have brought a glove. I'll just do it the dog poo style way. See if this even is gonna work. I guess I'll double bag. Cigarette butt is what it is. And I'd imagine there's probably a lot of those out here. Tuck this in here. Watch my tucking the plastic bags in my belt here. Watch fall out and I don't notice, and then I've contributed more litter to the street. It's not what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna keep my head down and look a little bit harder, because there has to be more stuff. And picking up cigarette butts is honorable, but I want something bigger. Like a big old piece of cardboard or something. But yeah, the stress relief from running is immense. I'm not sure exactly why that is. I'm sure there's people that know more than I do about it. But one thing I felt about it is that if you are worrying about something at work, worrying about something at home, it's easy to stay focused on it. And weirdly, you can even find some weird kind of sick joy in wallowing in woe is me, feeling sorry for yourself. But to be able to overcome something like that, exercise seems to be a pretty good method for getting beyond things like that. I would guess it's because when you exercise, a lot of times it's hard. It's quote unquote painful. It shouldn't be painful, but the feeling of using muscles you haven't used, or lifting heavier weights, running longer, that is uncomfortable. Hey, there's something. And you're able to focus on something other than your own I'm being extremely clear here. Let me just start that over again. When you're out running or exercising, the pain, the stress that your body is put under is secondary to the current physical exertion you're doing right now. So the stress from work, stress from home becomes secondary, doesn't consume your mind. And that's something that we don't really think about. We think about our problems too much, and not downplaying the problems that we all have, because they are real, but it doesn't mean we have to think about them all the time. So getting out and running, getting out to the gym to start lifting weights can be a good thing to get your mind off of the stresses at work. Those of you that exercise know this already, but if any of you are considering starting running, or maybe you missed the boat for New Year's resolutions, or you just feel like, you know, I want to do a 5K. Let's do a 5K, but you've never run before. It can be very beneficial in more ways than you'd even think. Speaking of 5K, I signed up for a 5K for May, and it's the Lake Oswego 5K, and it's on my way to training for a 50K, which, for those of you in America, that's more than 30 miles. And I've done one marathon, and it's challenging, but I want to keep running. I want to run farther and see how far I can run. So I'm going to be eventually training for 50K. This is kind of my slow warm up to get there. My training plan says run 1.5 miles today, and probably going to run farther than that. And well, no, definitely not faster. But I've only done one other 5K, and it was in September, and the Oregon Fall 5K. So it was in Canby, and I got third overall and second in men's, which was pretty cool. I didn't think that, see, and I'm just moving the litter around. I didn't think that I would ever be fast enough to place in a 5K or anything like that, but I'm pretty competitive. And once that starting gun goes off, I don't like people passing me. So I don't remember my pace, but I think I got sub 20 minutes for the full thing, but that might be me misremembering it. But yeah, that was fun, and I felt good after that. So I keep telling myself that I'm not gonna be competitive in the next one. I'm just gonna run the 5K, and because I'm using it to train. But in all honesty, I know myself. I'm going to get competitive and start and run hard and try to win. The guy who did win was running extremely fast. I found him on Strava, and I kind of watch what he does, and he does a lot of short distances, and he goes fast. So I consider myself a long distance runner, at least that's what I'm training to be. And that dude was smoking fast. He was I don't remember his name, but I found him on Strava, and I follow him there, which that's a cool app for runners that don't know about it. spinning you around here. It's a app that's specifically for runners, bikers, and there's another sport that it tracks, maybe swimming. But it keeps track of all your miles and your distance and your pace and all the things that are relatively important. So here's, actually I'm not going to do that on video. That was a garbage can. I was going to put it in there, but I would never do that. So I'm going to continue running and not do that on video. But so back to Strava. This is going to be kind of a disjointed video. So for that one person who might still be watching, which is probably my mom, thanks for sticking with us. But so Strava, back to Strava. It's a good app. You can download it on your Apple Watch. You can have it sync from your Fitbit to Strava, which is how I generally use it. I'm kind of trying out the Apple Watch now, see what that's about. But the Fitbit system works pretty well. It synced my data from Fitbit to Strava and then also to MyFitnessPal, which is cool to kind of keep track of how many calories I was burning, and it's good. Let's see, what other apps? MyFitnessPal, that's a good one. If you don't use that, it's really good for tracking calories in, calories out, if you allow it. That's one thing that kind of annoyed me about MyFitnessPal, was that it's you had to pay for the premium subscription to keep it from tracking your calories out. So for me, when I was trying to lose weight, I wanted to set my calories I wanted to eat and not have the fitness calories out that was recorded on my Fitbit count towards that, so that I could just continue to shoot for 2,200 calories of eating, and then everything I burned was just extra. But they make you pay so that it won't add in your exercise calories. So the exercise calories were added in. So like some of my runs would be like 400, 500, 600 calories burned according to Fitbit, and it would add that to my calories that I could consume for eating. So it was kind of hard to tell exactly how many calories were in, and that's actually not super important for calories, but for the macros, because Scott, my friend from the last video, he's kind of showed me that if it fits your macro style of dieting, and it messes up your macros because it adds macros in, and if you don't remember all three of the macros that you were shooting for, they change when you sync your Fitbit to it. So that was kind of frustrating. But runners, calories, carbs are well, I guess I shouldn't say aren't important. Probably for really good runners, it becomes more important, and for people who aren't dieting at all, they don't care. But for me, the calories weren't ever a huge thing. But right now I'm at 174 pounds, and I'd like to be about sub 160. So if I could lose 14 or 15 pounds would be good. And running has never helped me lose weight. I've never found that to be effective. But dieting, that has always been the key. I don't remember the ratios, but I think it's like 80% of the fat that's on your body and your weight is because of your eating habits, and 20% of it is your exercise. That's probably not right, but it's more, your eating habits contribute to more of that. So, and unfortunately, that's the harder one to try to control. That's always been the hardest one for me anyway. I think I've got fast metabolism, so for the most part I've been okay, but after I hit 30, it's been, every time I've tried to drop some pounds, it's been a lot harder. And people think that I'm skinny, but I'm in the area of skinny fat now. Like, heart probably isn't as healthy as it could be. I look somewhat thin, as long as my shirt's not too tight, and and I can even convince myself that I'm thin and in shape, but my heart says otherwise, particularly when I go out on this short little 2-mile run and barely talk through it. But I'm on a journey and you're coming with me, so that's about it. I'm about back to my house, and I am going to throw this in my garbage can. My garbage can, not just any garbage can. I'm going to look up the laws on that when I get back inside, so I can advise or not advise that. But thanks for following along. Like I said at the beginning of the video, please leave me a comment. I would prefer a comment over a like even. I'd like to hear from the people and see if this has been entertaining. This is the third one of these, and I enjoy them. But I want to see if it's helping anybody. So let me know if you've made it to this point. Just even give me an emoji in the comments. That'd be great, just to see who made it to the end. So I'm signing off here. Check out Sly Poker on Instagram, and he's doing good work picking up trash, and I'm going to try to do the same. All right, thanks everybody. Bye.